Prime Care Corporation has provided the following data concerning last month's manufacturing operations. Prepare a schedule of cost of goods manufactured for the month and prepare a schedule of cost of goods sold for the month. Let's begin with our cost of goods manufactured schedule. We begin with calculating our direct materials. We look at our raw materials inventory in our beginning, which was $12,000. That was given. We add to it our $30,000 in purchases, which means we have $42,000 in raw materials available. If we deduct our ending raw materials inventory of $18,000, which was given, this tells us our raw materials that we actually used in production had to be $24,000, or the 42 minus the 18. We were told that indirect materials that were included in manufacturing overhead were $5,000. So we take our $24,000 that was used in production, we subtract the amount that was used for indirect materials, and that gives us our direct materials of $19,000. Okay, we have, remember, direct materials, direct labor, and manufacturing overhead. We're told that direct labor was $58,000. We're told that our manufacturing overhead that was applied to work in process was $87,000. So our total manufacturing cost for the month were $164,000. This is our $19,000 in direct materials, the $58,000 in direct labor, and the $87,000 in manufacturing overhead that was applied. We'll add to that our beginning work in process inventory, which again was given, and that was $56,000, which means sort of the left-hand side of our box would have been $220,000. If we deduct ending work in process, which is given, which is $65,000, we have our total cost of goods manufactured, which is $155,000. That's the 220 minus the 65,000 in ending work in process inventory. To calculate our cost of goods sold, then, we begin with our beginning finished goods inventory, and our beginning finished goods inventory was given, and it was $35,000. We add to that our $155,000 in cost of goods manufactured that we just calculated above, which means that we have $190,000 in goods available for sale. If at the end of the period we are left with $42,000 in ending inventory, which again was given, that means our cost of goods sold on an unadjusted basis was $148,000. We say unadjusted because in this particular problem we're given information about our under-applied overhead. We were told that our under-applied overhead was $4,000, so work in process was too low by $4,000, which means then finished goods was too low by $4,000, which then means cost of goods sold was too low by $4,000. So our entry to close out that under-applied overhead would have been a credit to manufacturing overhead and a debit to cost of goods sold, which means our total cost of goods sold was $152,000 for the period. All right, let's go ahead and look at the same thing from a box perspective. We were told that our beginning raw materials inventory was 12. We had purchases of 30, which means in terms of our boxes on our right-hand side we had 42,000. We had 18,000 at the end, and we had 5,000 go to manufacturing overhead. So that means our direct material right here, the unknown, would have been 19. Our beginning work in process was 56,000, and we were told that we had direct materials of 19, direct labor of 58, and manufacturing overhead of 87. Those all together added to 164, plus our beginning work in process of 56 brings the right-hand side of our box to 220,000. If we had 56 left, then we had to have make that if we had 65 left, then 220 minus 65 means that we had to have 155 going to finished goods. And then we could continue on, and cost of goods sold would be our plug over there.